See if we can get this thing hooked up and working.
Discover the beauty of Hawaii. Book your free.
Still trying to make it happen. There we go. I'm finding it. All right. All right. All right. Aloha, everyone. Aloha, everyone. Aloha, everyone. Aloha, everyone. All right. Had to get that muted. Oh, it's working. I like it. Maybe I'll switch the camera around. So just jumping on here, I kind of have a new setup as I talked about last time, and just getting the chat figured out and set up. Want to test that out. I put up a bigger monitor so I can see the chats easier while I'm doing live channel streaming. And give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, and we'll go from there. Lost connection there for a second, but I think I got her figured out. Pretty rainy over here on the Big Island east side, which is pretty normal for this part of the island, but I enjoy it. It's a little cool. So I always like to do something and keep busy during the day on Sunday rather than watching TV. I want to so weird, not quite getting it there. Okay. So how are all you doing? How are all of you doing? Last time I talked about the peacock that came around and was showing his colors to me. Over the weekend, I had a coconut guy show up, and he wasn't here for the purposes of getting my coconuts. He was just looking for coconuts around this area that he could get from the side of the road. And he had a bamboo pole, it was probably 40 feet long. He just happened to pull up in front of the house, and he said hi to me, and we chatted a little bit, and I asked if he wanted to get the coconuts off this big tree of mine. It's probably 60 feet tall, and I have a water catchment, a concrete water catchment just below it, and that would prop him up another 10 feet. So with that bamboo pole, I think he could reach it. And he looked at it and said, yeah, I can get it. I can get all the way up there. So I've never gotten any coconuts out of that palm tree, and wanted to see if they're any good. It's way too high to get to myself. I don't have a ladder, and I'm not a coconut climber, so I didn't want to go up there. And in talking, I introduced myself and said I had a YouTube channel, and talked about my drone a little bit and flying it. And he says, well, you should go grab it when I get these coconuts out. And it was a little windy, and I was like, no, I don't want to go fly it. It's a little windy, but it was just a little windy at that moment because it calmed down a little bit. And once he was getting set up and getting the bamboo, there's like 3 sections of the bamboo that he wanted to tape together so he could get it up high enough to get the coconuts. And once he got that taped together and the wind wasn't blowing very much, I ran in real quick and got my drone, and he kind of instigated it to get me to fly my drone. And I'm glad I did, because it ended up being, I spent the whole rest of that whole morning just putting together the coconut video of opening coconuts and enjoying the water and pouring them in some jars, and it turned out to be a good thing that he instigated me to fly my drone, because it just turned into so much more. I ended up working till about 10 o'clock at night putting the video together. So let's see. I'm just looking for some people to type some messages so I can respond and talk to you. Kind of helps me out with ideas on where to go. I usually get on here and just talk story and talk about things, but I want to talk about what you guys are interested in too also. Just writing a quick note. My chats are coming up, so. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I don't have my external mic set up. Maybe I could do that real quick. That might help with the audio. I'm just putting it together real quick. Bam. So I got the external mic hooked up. Can you hear me? Hey Jeremy, got your message? Jeremy's looking forward to moving to Puna at the end of the month. Nice, man. Staying up in Volcano, that'll be good up there. I like it up there. It's a little cooler, so have a little light jacket for at night. But what a great place to like build a fire at night and hang out and get to the park. Volcanoes National Park up there. It'll be a nice area for you to get acclimated. Have you been to the island before, Jeremy? There's I don't know if you're a golfer, but I'm a golfer and I enjoy golfing up there. And then going to the park and taking some great hikes around there. Where are you moving from, Jeremy? I moved here from Salt Lake City back in 2008, and I started out as a volunteer at Kalani Honua. Thanks, Master O Puppets. Glad to hear I'm loud and clear. I'm gonna shut this window because sometimes I notice some people around here really like their loud cars. And since I'm close enough to the road, I can hear them, and I don't like it that much. That's about the only thing I don't like about living here in this house, is it's so close to the main road. My first 10 years were out in the jungle. I built a little cabin in the middle of the jungle, and it was just peaceful, quiet, except for the coqui frogs. The coqui frogs were really loud, but you get used to the coqui frogs. Hey John, Hanaho, I don't know if Hanaho is still open for business down in Naalehu. I don't know that I'm real familiar with Hanaho. I'm up in Keau and been here for 4 years. For the 10 years before that, I was down in Puna, down on the Red Road. Loved it down there. Yeah, it seems like all the housing and everything's gone up a bit last 2 or 3 years. I went and got gas the other day and it was $5.23 a gallon. I get the little more expensive gas because it's ethanol free, but still $5 a gallon. I remember when I could fill up my little car back in high school for $5 and get a half a tank. Oh, I'll have to check that out, John. That sounds fun. A great breakfast with 50s furniture. Hanaho. So I guess the lava's still going up at the park. It's been going for quite a while. I have a friend on the channel, Two Pineapples. He's always up there doing live feeds from the volcano. I think he's up there like every other day or every day. It's fun to see it. I was here, when was it? Last January when it started erupting after being dormant for a year and a half after the 2018 eruption that took out Leilani Estates. And that was pretty neat being up there in January and that plume coming out of the caldera. There's a ton of people walking around taking pictures, but it's always amazing to see how close you can get to it and see it with your own eyes. Yeah, this is a great place to come. Escape winter in New York, no doubt. Being from Utah, I know how winter is, and in Utah we get a ton of snow and winter lasts about 7-8 months of the year. And then in the summer it gets over 100 degrees. So the thing I loved about living in Utah and growing up was we got all 4 seasons. So you'd get those beautiful fall colors, and then springtime, everything was turning green. Real dry there though. It's a high mountain desert up there in Salt Lake. Anybody else been to the Big Island and want to talk about where they visited and their favorite places? Yeah, the caldera has changed quite a bit. And if you haven't seen it since 2013, in 2018, the whole thing kind of collapsed and it just expanded in size. The bummer about that is the museum has been closed since 2018, and you can't go in and see the history and the old pictures and all the neat things they have in the museum because it's just so close to the caldera that the ground became unstable, and there's so many earthquakes. They closed it and it hasn't been open since. That's too bad. Master of Puppets was going to come here in 2020. Then COVID hit, affected everybody. But the neat thing, or the best thing that happened due to COVID, was I was able to go to all my favorite places and be the only one there. If not, there was probably a few other people, but mostly I went to all my favorite places, hardly anybody around, no tourists. So it was real special to have these places to myself and not have to deal with the tourists. And I could film and take pictures and not have random people walking around. Oh, I appreciate that, Master of Puppets. Appreciate your support. I'm glad you're watching my videos. I put a lot of work into them, and because of people like you supporting me and giving me thumbs up and comments and subscribing, you know, it makes it worth it. I tried to start this whole channel 2 years ago, back right before COVID went viral all over the earth. Let's see, June will be 2 years on my channel that I've been doing this. And I wanted to see if it would work. I had to start from scratch. I had no idea how to edit, no idea how to, I don't know, do any of this. I had to go to YouTube University and learn how to, just the steps in doing a video and uploading it and editing the video and dialogue, narration. So I just started with a GoPro camera and went after it and learned a ton, and kept me busy all through COVID, because when we were all sitting home and couldn't go out and do anything and all that, I was able to, you know, they still had the parks open and people could go walking as long as they weren't in groups. So I just went out and did my videos and shot all over, and had my little sailboat and took that out in Hilo Bay and enjoyed that. Yeah, down at Uncle Robert's. I grew up. I spent my first 10 years here, just 5 miles down the road, down the red road from Uncle Robert's. So we'd go there every Wednesday. But I guess they're not doing that every Wednesday now. They stopped doing the Wednesday event when COVID hit, and I don't think they've started up again, but I know they're doing a Saturday morning kind of farmers market style thing, to where you can go get vegetables and local fruit and vegetables from the farmers. Just reading some of the comments there. Where was I? I was talking about starting my YouTube channel back in 2018. Oh yeah, that's because Master of Puppets said she watched my videos, so I started rambling on about how I started my channel. And I don't know, I didn't want to go work for anybody. I wanted to see if I could launch a YouTube channel, start posting videos, be kind of different from everybody else, but hopefully I've set myself aside a little bit. Lately I've been trying to be more personable and started this whole live thing. I did my first live broadcast a couple weeks ago and went pretty well. I had some people writing in, so that enticed me to kind of set up a new little studio here in my kitchen and get this to where I wasn't in the back room, in a little room, and I could walk around and kind of have some room to stretch my legs. Master of Puppets asked me my thoughts on living in Hilo or Kona. I've never lived over in Kona, but I know you could probably work over on the Kona side a little easier because that's where there's more money and there's more beaches and tourist things. There's a lot of money made here by tourists. Living over here on the Hilo side, it's green, it's beautiful. You got birds and the coastline's real rough. There's not a lot of swimming off the coastlines, but you have to go to certain spots. Like in Hilo, there's Carl Smith Beach Park. Swim with turtles there. It's a nice little bay to swim in, but it's ice cold because there's a fresh water comes in there, and the fresh water is just freezing. So as it mixes in with the ocean, you'll swim along, and if you're at the top of the water, it'll be ice cold. But if you dive down under that layer of cold water that's floating on the ocean, because the ocean's 80 degrees year round. But Carl Smith Beach Park's a beautiful place, and there's some beautiful parks. I just love the jungle and the tropical forest in Hilo on the east side. On the west side, there's a lot of barren areas north of Kona that's just lava fields, nothing growing on them. I usually just travel over there for a day or two and enjoy the beaches and do some of the things that we're not able to do here on the east side. Yeah, I really tried to show all the land and Aina of the island and share it with everybody, because I know not everybody was able to travel to Hawaii, and that was kind of my thought process was, or my niche was going to be to put these videos together and just show the beauty that's all around the big island, and get it out to those who will either never travel here, they're not physically able to or have the means to do it. So being able to share the island and just the beauty has, I've gotten a lot of comments from you guys and people who have appreciated that, because they get a little piece of the island through my channel. So that's why I say book your free virtual plane ticket with Life on the Big Rock as an intro to some of my videos, because it's free and you get to escape a little bit, escape where you're at, and enjoy the greenery. I do a lot more of my video shoots here on the east side just because that's where I'm at. So I'm gonna try to get out and do some camping and head out on the west side and southwest side of the island down to South Point. There's a nice huge cliff down on South Point where you can jump off and drop about 35 feet down into just blue turquoise water. It's nice and deep. And then you can hike out to Green Sands Beach down there. Camp at Ho'okena. I've swam with dolphins a bunch of times at Ho'okena, gone camping there. You can camp right on the beach. There's about 10 spots. You have to get a reservation first to do that. My first camp trip down there, the first morning, woke up to seeing the dolphins out there playing, and instantly I was getting my mask, getting my snorkel and fins on, out in the water, swam out there and just floated with the dolphins. It was an amazing time. And that's why that's my favorite place to camp, because you're right on the beach, and you hear the waves crash all night. Makes it nice to sleep and put you to sleep. I just love it down there. Have any of you camped on the Big Island or been to Ho'okena? Let me know in the comments. I gotta grab some water. Ah, refreshing water. So what are all you doing on Sundays? Where are you from? Write in the comments where you're from so I know whereabouts on the planet you're located. But yeah, camping down there, there's some great little hikes and stuff. John says his camping days are over. He uses Verbo. I don't blame you, have all the creature comforts. I like that too, but I actually built a nice little bed in the back of my truck because I have a shell on it. Put some plywood down so I could put storage underneath it, then put a bed on top. So I don't have to sleep in a tent and on one of those thin pads, but I sleep great. John's from New York. I don't know if Jeremy's still here, but he's from Sacramento. What else down there on the east side, southeast side? Ho'okena for camping. Place of refuge, go visit that place. That's where, if someone back in the day, in the old days, the Hawaiians, if they committed a crime or did something against another family, you know, they would pay the ultimate price if they didn't reach this sacred land where they couldn't war or fight, and that's the place of refuge, and that was where they'd have to escape to and just I believe live there until either things got worked out or something. But it's a neat place to visit. They have these rock walls that surround the place, and it's real interesting. They have it's a little park, so they tell you about you know, history and all that stuff. They're at the place of refuge. And then Kealakekua Bay is just up from that, and Two-Step, snorkeling at Two-Step, that's one of the most famous and popular spots to snorkel on the Big Island because there's natural flat volcanic rock, and then it actually has 2 steps to get down into the water and snorkel, so they call it Two Steps. I know it has a Hawaiian name, but I don't know that right offhand. Nice. Southern California, that's one of my favorite areas. I always thought I would try to live in San Diego or somewhere down there. But because I always wanted to live by the ocean, being from Utah, being landlocked. Came here to Hawaii when I was 13 with a family vacation, and never knew I'd live here. So I'm glad to be here, especially for the last 14 years. It's worked out well. I've been blessed. Pele's accepted me. Yeah, I'm glad, John, that you've enjoyed the place of refuge. Any of you been snorkeling at Two-Step and snorkeled around Kealakekua Bay and seen the statue? That's a way to get over to the statue to see. You just paddleboard over across the bay there, because I guess the hike's pretty gnarly coming down from the road. Not gnarly, it's just steep to have to go down and then back up. So the best way is to paddleboard over to see that statue. Yeah, you'll have to do that sometime, puppets. You'll love it. So either rent a paddleboard or hope maybe you have a friend that lives here and has one. Hey Kenneth, how you doing? Kenneth asks about Mackenzie Park. He says he's heard it's not safe. Yeah, I've never felt unsafe there either, but I don't go at night just because of all the I don't know, everybody says that the night marchers come out at night and what have you. I'm not into doing all that stuff and seeing night marchers or putting myself in that position. So I go during the day and it's fine. It's always pretty. And to watch those waves crash over the rocks, that's amazing. That's the funnest thing to do right there around the Mackenzie area and Malama Flats, is watch those waves come in and hit the rocks and just burst into the air. You know, it's just entertaining. You can sit there all day. It's like watching a fire. When you sit around a fire, you can just sit and watch that fire and be entertained. Same mindset down there, except you're watching the waves crash against the rocks, splashing up into the air. So I think Mackenzie Park is fine. It's great to visit. Just don't go there at night. You don't want to see night marchers and get scared. I did a video about Mackenzie Park a few weeks ago. Just went during the day, walked around and took some great video shots of my hike and some of the waves crashing. Night marchers. Puppets asked, what are night marchers? They're ancient Hawaiians who have passed on, and I wish I could explain it better. I've read a bunch about it. Let me think. They're just ancient Hawaiians who gather together at night and walk around and kind of protect the island. That's the best way I can describe it without getting real in depth. I would have to refresh my memory on exactly their purpose and what they do, but some people say if you go there at night to Mackenzie Park, you'll hear the beats of drums and kind of shadowy people walking around. So sounds kind of ominous and a little scary to me, so I'm not into doing that. John said he was usually home by dark too. Yeah, me too. Oh yeah, Kenneth saw some wild vanilla vines. I see vanilla all over on the east side. When I worked at Hawaiian Sanctuary, they grew chocolate and then just random vanilla vines, you know, through different trees all through that area. So I've seen them all over. Not in mass quantities, but if you know what you're looking for and keep your eye out, you'll see some around. So Kenneth mentioned night marchers hike the trails at night, and if you can hear the drumming, you're supposed to get off the trail and let them pass. So you don't want to get in their way. That's a good idea. Puppet says, yikes. I agree, that is yikes, because I'll think about stuff and if it's dark or something, I'll scare myself just thinking about possibilities or what could happen. So let alone actually seeing like a night marcher or something. Yeah, I would be freaked out and out of there. So just stick with going during the day. So have any of you seen the Captain Cook Monument? The statue there at Kealakekua Bay? Trying to keep my thought process in the same areas of the island that I was talking about a minute ago. So it's the bay, Kealakekua Bay is where Captain Cook first landed and met the Hawaiians here. They thought he was a god because he was white, and I don't know, but they accepted him and everything. But lo and behold, that's where they ended up taking his life, was right there at the same spot he landed in. So that's why they built the Captain Cook Monument. That's where he first landed, and that's where they killed the guy too. Yeah, Kenneth, I think there's a lot of old families over there around Captain Cook area that still take care of the Aina and live some of the old Hawaiian ways. I think there's still families down at Ho'okena, where I was talking about, where I love camping, that live down there and take care of that beach and kind of still live there. Yeah, if you plan on moving here and living here. Hey, Mark the Shark, how you doing? Good to see ya. Nice. But I was just talking about, yeah, if you're going to move here and live in Hawaii, you definitely got to respect the culture and the people. And if you do that, you'll have great success and a lot of good friends. Yeah, as long as you respect the Aina and just try not to make a big impact or anything, and just appreciate what's around, the beauty, and meet the people who live here. Yeah, I plan on going down with my paddleboard sometime and doing that whole paddle across Kealakekua Bay over to the monument. I know the dolphins frequent there, so it'd be great to see the dolphins and swim with them and have a paddleboard to where you can just kind of float around and watch them for hours. Yeah, smash that thumbs up, everybody. I got 7 people on here. Hopefully I get 7 thumbs up. Yeah, I just read your message, Kenneth. I've never really had any unexpected encounters. Most of the Hawaiians and the Kanaka that I've met have all been kind and generous. I've either met them through work, you know, I did a lot of farm work and landscaping and things like that my first 10 years here, and I don't know, they all seem to really respect people who take care of the Aina. All right, I got 7 thumbs up. I just noticed. I had to look and see. Yeah, I'm glad you've only had good experiences too. I think there's a lot more good experiences than bad, but you know how things go. If something bad happens, that stands out way more than the good that happens. Beautiful day. Yeah, it's been rainy. It was a downpour here, Mark, this morning. It's, you know how it rains here. It was raining pretty good, and then all of a sudden it was just buckets. It was just tenfold, 10 times harder. And filled the gutters. The gutters were overflowing. I was out there just listening to that roar of the raindrop. It was coming down this morning. Yeah, I agree, John. If you're real, people sense it easily. Yeah, if you're not putting on a front and just being yourself and cordial and respectful, I think people read each other and read that real easy. They know when you're genuine anyway. Wow, I've already been on here for 41 minutes. But I'm glad I got this setup going. I have a bigger monitor so I can see the chats. I have my lights up, my little microphone. So hopefully I sound better and look better than that first live that I did. John says he lived in Maui in the 90s for 3 years. I visited Maui back then, and there wasn't half of the things built that are there now. It doesn't even look the same as it does back then. I think I went to Maui in 92 for my first time. I was like 13 years old. And there was nothing but the hotel, the beach in front, and nothing else around. It was just all flat, barren ground. Now there's houses and condos and hotels and eateries and supermarkets and just thousands of people all around that area. It's still fun to go see, John, even though there's so much more people and it's, I don't know. That's what's hard about those smaller islands is if it has the same tourists of the big island, you definitely see it just because of the size of the island. I went and tried to do Hana Road a couple years ago. I had friends staying at Maui during Thanksgiving, and I flew over to be with them for the weekend, and we tried to do the Hana Road, but it was like, it's just a thin, skinny one-lane road, Hana Road in Maui, and it's a beautiful road, but that's what everybody does. They have their rent-a-cars and they drive all the way around there. It takes about 3 hours to go 50 or 60 miles just because it's switchbacks but there's beautiful waterfalls and things, but we stopped about halfway and we didn't have the energy to sit there and wait for all the cars and just try to get back to Hana. Whoa, I've never heard that. Bring Disneyland to Hawaii and put it in Waipio Valley. Yeah, they've closed the road down to Waipio Valley, and the only people who can travel it are the people who live down there in Waipio. There's that whole side of the mountain is kind of eroding, and they're trying to come up with a plan to either repave it or cut a new road in. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing, but there's no more hiking down there or driving down there, especially now that they've closed that road, just because it's become more dangerous, and the more people that use it, makes it erode that much faster. which is a bummer. That's a beautiful area. One of my favorite spots is Waipio Valley. Especially when I had a 4-wheel drive to drive down there and spend the day. There's nothing like it. That huge beach down there, the river that flows down into the ocean. You used to be able to walk a hike back to the waterfall, but that goes through private property, so that's frowned upon now, and out of respect, I think a lot of people don't do that anymore. Hiking down to Waipio and back up for the locals, Kenneth, I don't know if that's going to happen for a while until they figure out, you know, the erosion problems and fix a few things. Pololu Valley is good to go. That's a nice little hike down there, Pololu Valley, up in Hawaii. And that's just a few valleys over from Waipio. But Pololu's great. There's just no parking up there. Every time I go to Pololu Valley, the parking lot it's not even a parking lot. People just pull off on the side of the road to park and then hike down to the little beach down there. Much easier hike to go to Pololu than it is Waipio. All right, Mark, I'm glad you're about ready to build that cabin. Mark, were you the one talking about your 2 pineapples? Because I went and checked out that channel. Kenneth, I've never been to Waimanu. I've had friends that hiked over there, but I've never done the hike just because, you know, I'm 53 and my knees are bad. I didn't treat them well growing up playing football and racing jet skis with my buddies. So my knees just can't handle all that up and down hiking. I've got to kind of stay on the more level ground and slight elevation. Oh yeah, it's a long, like 12 or 20 mile hike or something in and out. So you definitely, it crosses streams. You know, you go up one side, down another, cross another river. But I hear it's just beautiful over there. I've always wanted to maybe get in a kayak and take the ocean around over to it, but I'd still love to do that. Just don't have a kayak, and I need someone with some knowledge that has done it before and can read the ocean real well so we don't get swept out to sea. John, he says his knees agree. I feel you, brother, on that one. Wish I would have either, when I hurt them, you know, I never went to the doctor to get my knees looked at or fixed. I just do some R&R until they started feeling better, and they came back to life, but you know, they get achy sometimes. Master of Puppets, glad to have you. I appreciate your support and tuning into a little live session here today. Have a great night. Aloha, Master. I don't know what that is. Aloha, Master. What do you mean by that, Mark? Does that mean you're the king of aloha? You have a lot of aloha to go around? Yeah, Nanavali, cracking down on unpermitted dwellings. Yeah, but there's so much going on. I don't know how much. They might be cracking down more down there, but up here in Puna and Pahoa area, I don't know, they'd have quite a challenge trying to get all the people with unpermitted things. Hey Randy, how you doing? Aloha from Wisconsin. Aloha, Randy. Yeah, I don't know that much about Nanavale. It's always been tough, huh? Little cold in Wisconsin there for you, huh, Randy? It was a little chillier today. It only got up to 75 degrees here. So, got my long sleeves on. That's the tough thing about living in Hawaii is if it gets below 70 degrees, none of us own pants or shoes. It gets cold. Cheese and beer. Kenneth loves Wisconsin. Yeah, it's still better than that cold weather. 50 degrees in Seattle, Kenneth says. 50 degrees is about as cold as I want to have it anymore after growing up in Salt Lake and having just freezing winters and over 100-degree summers. This place is pretty even. It's pretty even around 80 during the day year round. "35 degrees in Toronto" from Gabby. How you doing, Gabby? I don't think I've ever seen coats for sale. I think all the Sears have been closed down on the island. At least it has up there in Hilo. There used to be a Sears, but it's closed down. They bailed. Yeah, I know how that burr is, 35 degrees. I grew up skiing all my life. That's another reason why my knees are maybe a little used up. Skiing the Wasatch Mountains in Salt Lake City. Randy's been to the Big Island 7 times. You know, I've been to Oahu, Kauai, Maui, and the Big Island. I think I prefer the Big Island just because of the size of it. And, you know, there's like 13 microclimates in the world, and the Big Island has 11 microclimates. So like of those 13 total microclimates are found around the world, the Big Island has 11 of them. So that means I've found it pretty cool. As you travel around the island, you'll see areas that remind you of back home because you'll be in that climate zone. So being from Utah, if I get up in elevation around 4,000 feet, I'll see some of the same things that I saw back home. I just had middle of the day pizza. I made a pizza for lunch this afternoon. I'm not hungry at all. What are you gonna make, Kenneth? You know, my best pizza is, I'll usually skip Pizza Hut or any of those things and go get a California pizza from the supermarket, one of the frozen pizzas, and then add all my favorite things to it, cook it up. I enjoy those. They have a nice thin crust, pretty tasty. I've been to Lanai myself, and that's just like a little country town. It's pretty small, but it was fun to take the ferry over from Maui to Lanai, and walk around there. Beautiful beach over there. But the town is just small, but it's quaint, and it's all kind of around this big park up there. But I hear the thing to do there on Lanai, if you go over, is to rent a 4-wheel drive or a Jeep or something and go see a ship that's wrecked just off the coast and a lot of the dirt roads, and go around there and 4-wheel drive for the day around Lanai with a Jeep. Can't go wrong with barbecue chicken, Kenneth. That's one of my favorites. That's a go-to for me too. I just got me an air fryer, and boy, that thing take care of that chicken. And now that I've done it enough, I know just how long to cook the chicken so it's not too dry, yet it's done, moist, tasty. Love that air fryer. I'm using it all the time now. They might be limiting the access to Lanai. It was 2 or 3 years ago when I did that ferry over there, and there wasn't a problem there. You just had to pay for the ferry and go over for the day. But as far as access to there, I don't know if they've cracked down on that or not. Kenneth asks if there's any new progress for new cell tower replacements around the lava zone. I imagine you're talking around Leilani Estates down there. I think they put up a couple because they ran power all through there where they paved the new road down. But I currently don't know what they're doing with cell towers down around the Leilani Estates area. But boy, is that a powerful area to go hike and look around. It's all on private property. People still own the properties that are under the lava, so you got to be real careful going out there if you're going to go see Fissure 8 or any of the lava areas. I usually just get to the side of it and fly my drone up and look at it all with my drone, because it can be hollow underneath as you're walking around the lava, and you could fall down into who knows what. You could fall down into the abyss, who knows. But it's crunchy, and it's quite an experience. It's something you definitely want to see, but I don't know that you want to go walk around on it very much. If there's a path, stick to the path, because you don't want to be falling in and getting cut up. Wear good hiking boots too, because that lava is sharp. You can see the glass in it. It's amazing. So John says he used to find something for dinner at Malama Market. So they have a whole brand new Malama Market here in Pahoa. They closed the old one down, built a whole new place in a shopping village, and it's like a real supermarket now. It's awesome. People say it's too good for Pahoa, but we needed a nice place to go shopping and pick up dinner, and so we needed that new supermarket. They have all sorts of poke to choose from now because it's twice as big, the selection. Hey Mark, appreciate it, man. You always giving me the thumbs up and supporting me full on, brother. I appreciate that. Let's see, 59 minutes. I can't be on here all day. Yeah, John, if you want to check out the market, when it first opened, I did a little walkthrough. You can go back through one of my videos and see me walking through it, and it was still brand new at that time. Hey Harley, how you doing? Harley from Alaska. Oh, that's awesome. Be here looking for land. That'll be fun. What part of the island are you thinking of looking for land, Harley? Oh yeah, you go buy a lava lot and get a great deal, Gabby. So this setup is so much easier for me to do a live stream. I don't know if you can see this, but here I'll try to. I got my big monitor to where I can see all of your chats come up. And then I'm filming with my iPhone, or doing the video with the iPhone. So it's all right in front of me. It's so much better. Before I was looking down at my laptop and trying to read, and the camera on the laptops, it sucks, to be blunt. Kenneth, you bet. He says, thank you for taking the time to go live. If I were to choose between living in HPP and Hawaiian beaches, what would I choose? I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. Hawaiian Beach is a little further away, like you said. The drive out is a little bit of a hassle, but I don't know. I like having the opportunity to be in a more remote place. HPP is just grid. It's just a big grid of properties, so I'd probably go with Hawaiian Beaches too, even though it's a little further drive down there. Oh, that's good, John. I'm glad you saw that video. 30 grand for 3-acre jungle lots in Fern Forest. Hey Gabby, I'm glad you're enjoying this. I enjoy it too, just to connect with some of you and get out of my comfort zone, because I won't talk to someone all day. I'll just be editing or doing my video photography and things like that. So to sit here and talk, open my mouth and make me think and have a conversation, even though I'm the only one talking, it's really nice to see you guys taking part in the chat, because it really helps me talk about the island and different subjects, because it makes it really harder to do a live show when there's no one, giving you ideas or responding. You just sit there and talk story. That's kind of what I did my first live, but it was fun. It took me back to when I first moved here and some of the feelings I had, and to reminisce about that. It was fun. Oh, Fern Forest is spooky too, not just Mackenzie, but Fern Forest, huh? I don't know. I don't know Fern Forest that well. Do they have the night marchers too? Hey Moose Pass, just saw that you're on. Moose Pass asked what the work is like here in the construction industry. I see a lot of building going on, so I don't know if there's just like a few companies that have their hands on all that or what, but if you're looking to work with like a company that's already set up, you'd probably find work pretty easy, because I see a lot of construction going on. Whereabouts is Fern Forest located anyway? I guess it's Mauka, so it's probably a little more wet. John, I'll do that. I was just trying to test out this new monitor so I could see the chats and video on my phone and kind of have this whole setup to see if it would work. I was just kind of testing it out today. It ended up working. You guys chimed in and I ended up being on here for 65 minutes now. Really wasn't what I was planning, but I'll take it. I really enjoy talking to you guys and just talking Hawaii stuff and what it's like here and things you've done and areas that all of you have visited and that I've visited that we all have in common. It's a fun thing to do, talk about all that. Karu Yoga, Shanti. Thumbs up on the coconut video. Yeah, that was a spontaneous thing. That guy showing up with a big 40-foot bamboo pole and being able to get up to my 60-foot coconut palm and get me some coconuts. I just split the coconuts with him half and half, so he was happy. Didn't have to pay him anything, just paid him in coconuts. He got him down, and then that turned into that whole video. He got him down, so I threw the drone out and took pictures and video of him getting the coconut with his big bamboo pole. And then I opened coconuts, got the water and flesh out of them. Ended up being a whole video. It was a spontaneous thing, but that's how it usually happens. That's life. And I'm trying to connect more with my audience and my subscribers by doing more of that daily life stuff. I'll still do some of my travels around the island and do some of those videos, but you'll probably be seeing my mug quite a bit more than you have in the past. I don't do a lot of fishing, Moose Pass. I had a little boat that I fished off of a few times, but I don't know, I've never been much of a fisherman. Oh, that's awesome, Karu Yogi. I think that's awesome that you've been watching my videos for meditation. That's kind of what I had in mind when I put music to some of the beautiful shots that I put together. It's a lot of fun to watch and just relax and watch those. It is for me anyway. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Appreciate that. Hey Harley, you have a good night too. I'm sure if we keep in touch, we'll run into each other. Take care. Yeah, Moose Pass from Alaska. That's what he said, I believe. Gabby, thanks for tuning in. I'll get that next video out, one a week. Take care, Gabby. Oh, wow, Kenneth. I just read your message about if you're in Fern Forest at night, walking or driving down the road, and you see a lady with long black hair, but you can't see her face, it's Pele, and she is trying to send a message to take care of the land to Malama the Aina. That's kind of spooky, but I would love to see Pele. She's tested me in a lot of different ways and accepted me though also, so. Yeah, I see people fishing down there at South Point all the time. They put the plastic garbage bags on their line and just send them out and let the wind take it, I guess. I haven't really figured out why they have the plastic bags on their line. Do you know why, Kenneth? Do they use it like a bobber if there's a fish on it or something? I don't know. I know the wind blows a lot down there, and I was thinking that was what helped them get their line out in the water. Thanks, Shanti. I try to tell a good story once in a while. Sounds beautiful there, Moose Pass. I bet the ferns are beautiful. That's pretty cool, Kenneth. I think she tests everybody. Oh, I see. So when they put the plastic bag on their line fishing at South Point, Kenneth says it catches the air or the wind and allows the line to go out miles, out to the deep water, even catch tuna. That's wild. You'd have to have a lot of line, but I know that area is deep, so it probably gets deep real quick there at South Point. Because I've looked at the topographic map and I know it just drops off right there. All right, my throat's dry. I've been talking too much. I'm not used to all this talking, telling stories. But I've appreciated all of your comments and tuning in and taking part of this live fiesta, live party. So I'm going to check out now. Aloha, everybody. We got just last couple messages. Harley lives in Homer. Transitioning to the Big Island. Yeah, I think all the rules are over with as far as coming back to the islands. It's a free-for-all again, Harley. Hey, Kenneth, my name's Trent, and life on the Big Rock, as you probably already know. But aloha, everybody. I appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one. Stay tuned, and you'll see me doing a lot more live videos. Aloha, balaba pono. All right, Kenneth, let's do it. We'll hang out sometime. Signing off. Take care of yourself, and always remember to take care of this big blue rock we all call home. See you guys.